presser.
You want to sit there? Thanks. If you want to sit there, you take it, okay? All right.
Nick, Jalen has, I think now 5 game-winning drives, or 6 if you want to count the one in regulation.
Yeah.
Can you talk about, excuse me, how he played today?
Yeah, I thought he played clutch. Just clutch. I think that's the best way to say it. Like, whether it was the overtime drive, whether it was the drive where we scored with about a minute plus left, I just felt like what it was, hey, we didn't have a lot of possessions in the first half, and we needed that end of half drive to get going. Clutch. I think that's the best way to say it, Marcus. I thought that's where he was.
He seemed to have a lot of trust in his playmakers too.
Yeah.
Devontae Ball, 2 to AJ, Dallas covered and interfered with, and DeAndre he doesn't hit a lot of backs out of the backfield. That might have been the play that won the game.
Yeah. Those guys, that's trust, right? That's trust, not blind faith, right? But trust and faith that is built up through the reps that you get. And some of the guys, with Dallas and with Devontae and with AJ, that's trust over the last couple years. With DeAndre, that's trust that's building. And so, OZ had a big catch. That's building. That trust is building. That was a big third down catch. And that's trust that's building through the work that you do week in, week out at practice, training camp, OTAs. And so that was sweet.
Nick, you guys don't fall behind. You guys don't fall behind often in games. I don't think you've been in overtime. What'd you learn about your players?
Is that right?
I don't think so.
In 2 years?
I don't think so. Yeah.
Did we have who? Yeah.
Cardinals.
Yeah, that's interesting. That's what I asked. I asked those guys in there today. I'm like, how many times have we been to overtime?
Well, I was going to say, what do you think you learned about your players today? You're able to come back and then win in that setting.
We won in a different way than we've had to win so far this year. I think that builds character. I think that builds a tighter team. I think that builds, trust with, the defense comes out, they make a stop, the offense goes out and drives the ball into a position to score, and the special teams converts to make a play. Those are all team building things. Trust me, I don't want. That's not good for me when we have to win in overtime. There's a lot of anxiety going into all that, but it is good when you're able to win different ways. It tells you a lot about the character of your football team, and I think we showed that today.
Nick, the 3rd and 11 call.
Sorry, Rob.
I'll come back. Sorry, Rob.
Come on, Rob.
Well, kind of following up on Elliott. Like, I'm sure you'd rather win 50-0,
sure,
week in and week out. But when you have your first situations like this, what does that teach you about your team, and how much does that set you up for down the road?
Yeah, when you can win different ways, you're going to be put in all these scenarios through a long season, right? And so it just builds confidence that, okay, we've been here before. We know how to win this way. We've been here before. We know how to win this way. We've been here before. We know how to win this way. And so I think it just builds a lot of things. I think it just builds a lot of things for your team. And so, man, that was a sweet way to win. Jake Elliott, like I said, I talked about Jalen being clutch. Jake Elliott is so clutch. Like, this guy, like, I don't watch field goals. I don't care how short they are. I don't know why. I don't watch it. I look at Coach Clay. He points at me or he gives me one of these, like, if we miss. But I was looking at him, and he get me with that. And I don't know if I was really even that surprised. Jake's just – he's clutch. Like, it's both of Jalen and Jake just played clutch games today, and really happy for them.
On your 3rd and 11 call, not your call, but Brian's call, I guess, in the red zone in the second half, the run to Kenny. Is that a situation where you prefer to be more aggressive, or is that a call that
last week on that call, in the third, I think it was 3rd and 8 against Tampa, we converted. So, hey, we convert on those. We're high-fiving. We don't convert. I understand there could be criticism there. All those calls, again, Brian and I make those, I help. We do those throughout the week. That's what we thought would give us the best chances to get the first down. And I think there's been a lot of discussion there on that call. It's always a call that we think about. And like I said, last week the run worked. This week it didn't. the field shrinks sometimes in there. It's a little bit tougher to throw in there. With the field shrinking, you don't have your whole playbook at its disposal. We trust our offensive line. We trust Kenny. That doesn't mean there wasn't an option to pass the ball there if the defense showed that we could. We've run that play in the past against that same coverage and scored on that play. Hey, but you know what? It didn't work this time. So, but everything we do, like, there's an aggression in everything we do. Aggressiveness, and I respect your question, aggressiveness doesn't look the same at all times, right? Aggressiveness can look many different ways. And in that particular case, we thought we were being aggressive there with the play that we had on. And you know what? It didn't work. Credit to the defense for stopping that play. But, I know Brian doesn't regret that call because we talked a lot about it. I don't regret that call, but it didn't work this time.
Penalties overall, what was, I guess, the reason for that? And on the QB sneak, what explanation did you get?
Yeah, good question, Zach. I got to watch the tape, Zach, to give you a full answer on there were some sloppy things here and there. I have to go watch that. That's a little uncharacteristic for us. I think that we started off, in 2021 a little bit. You're being really good. You don't ever like this. You want to say anything? You want to say go Eagles?
Go Eagles!
But, a little uncharacteristic of us, okay? A little, but I have to watch the tape. The explanation, listen, they said we were a little bit offsides ourselves with the guard, and we got to make sure we're teaching that up and to get the guys back, and probably was a penalty. So it was tough because we stopped ourselves there, but. Yeah, but so I won't get into too much of the conversation with the ref and I, but they got a tough job. They did a good job on that, and so yeah.
What did you think of Jalen's performance today overall? Was this the best game he's played so far this year?
I think I said that in there. I think it was his best game this year. I have to watch it and see everything. But I thought it was one his best game this year. I thought he was I thought he was clutch. I thought and sometimes quarterback stats and all these different things you can override anything that's going on with a quarterback when they make plays when the play's needed, right? And I thought that's what he did today. And I thought that was we needed a completion on that 3rd and forever, and he got a completion. We needed a touchdown, and he got the touchdown, at the end of the game, and he got the touchdown. So just clutch. That's where I really felt. And I got to watch the game to give you a sure answer, but I thought that was one of his better games to date.
AJ Brown was talking to AJ about your post-game remarks, and he talked about sort of what you just said. We've been able to win different ways. Is that a balancing act for you? Obviously, you want to be able to win in all these different ways, but do you want to figure out that we always call that identity and how quickly we can figure?
Great question. I just want to win. I just want to win and do anything we can do to be able to do that. I guess what I'd say, John, is it's natural in this league to have to win multiple ways, and we've had to. But at the end of the day, however we need to get the victory, if we need, I've said this 1,000 times, if we need to blitz 100 times, if we need to throw it 100 times, we need to pass it 100 times, whatever we got to do to win, we'll do that week. I think that's what you do. You try to put your players in the best positions, and you try to do whatever you think's right. And sometimes are we wrong? Heck yeah, But we're doing everything we're trying to do is try to get the W whatever way we possibly can.
AJ Brown said after the game that Jalen's normally pretty calm, but he saw some fire from him today. I'm curious if you noticed a different demeanor from Jalen or anything like that.
And I'm only with him about when defense is up and he's on the sideline. Sometimes a lot of times I'm watching the defense and having to manage the game. I saw the calmness, but I'm not with him all the time, right? So AJ's observation, because he's out there in the huddle with him. So I don't know. I can't answer the question, but man, he played good today.
Do a couple more.
Through 4 games, what have you learned about this team? I know it takes a little while, but now that you're at this quarter mark on it.
Man, I think we are truly a team that's in a growth mindset that we're happy, to be 4-0, but we know that there's work to do. Even talking to Jason Kelsey after the game, he's like, we're 4-0, let's go. And, even he said, yeah, I know we got a lot to clean up. And he's right. We got a lot to clean up. And so there's a gratification that we're 4-0, but there's a hunger to grow. And that's what you want. Shoot, that's what you want, because you want to continue to raise the level of your play so you're playing your best ball at the end of the year. It's not easy to be 4-0, right? Us and the Niners, the Miami lost today. Us and the Niners are the only two teams that, and they got to play. I don't know what their score is or anything like that, but it ain't easy. Obviously, there's 30 teams that would like to be in our spot. So we're grateful for where we are right now at 4-0, but we know there's a lot of work to be done to get better.
Last one, touching on at the end of the game. How do you balance? There's a lot of time remaining with deep with AJ. Do you have to kind of balance being aggressive there? Was there any thought about maybe running it a little more? Or?
Sometimes you play. The main goal is to score, right? Sometimes it happens where we ended up getting a big play. We saw a corner that was aggressive. We took an opportunity there, and it worked. Jalen and AJ made a great play. Obviously, and so you go in there, score. You go in there and score. What you don't want is the penalty to give them the extra 15 yards. AJ obviously was apologetic about that coming off the field. A lot of emotions in that game. We'll definitely learn from that. It'll be a teaching moment from that. But I've seen it played. You've seen it a lot of times that when maybe a team gets too conservative in that area, then they don't score. Right? And so we saw an opportunity. Did we think it would go for a touchdown? We didn't know. We thought it was an opportunity, right? And even if you don't score in a scenario where you're aggressive, it backs them off for the next play to help you get into where you want to get to. I'm not sure I'm going to apologize for scoring too quick ever, unless we can help it. In that particular case, I didn't think we could. I thought Brian Johnson did a great job calling it, and players did a great job executing it.
All right, thanks. We got Jalen coming in.
Say bye. Who are you looking at?
Say bye to them.
No, you say bye to them. Bye. My man.